a lot for that intro. It's so good to see you, everybody. Yeah, so hello, everybody. Hello, Toronto, and hello, the rest of the world. If there is anybody from outside Toronto, I would like to know. I'm here in the UK, and today I have a few proposals for you. I invite you all to be part of my adventure in tech. And the most important thing is that we're gonna try to create your own, okay? Let me know if you're ready so we can start our own adventure, okay? I will be reading the chat, so please feel free to read your comments. Moderators are gonna help us to do this more fun and engagement to you. So let's start. I don't know how many of you are at the university. If you can put like I'm a student or I'm already working or anything, in which part of your career are you? Usually when we need to start in any career, we have this question like, okay, I need to start, but where or how? Or basically somewhere I need to go and have some experience. So we're gonna start with this first chapter that is called I Want to Buy My Own Food, okay? This is this experience that we have when we are growing that we don't want to ask our parents or our family or whoever is taking care of us to ask for money because we need to buy our own food. Or we want to go holidays or a trip somewhere and we are like, I don't know if my mom is going to allow me to have some money for this new Harry Styles concert, for example. So yeah, that's the moment when we really need to try to get ourselves out there. So how do we start? Which kind of thing would you choose? Would you buy your own burger? Like go outside and try to see how you can get money? Or maybe you're fine. You can keep having dinner at your mom or your family, and maybe your mom is an excellent cooker, and that's fantastic. So which one would you choose? I want to see your answers over there. All right, and in the meantime, I will choose one. That was my path. So my path was freedom. I really wanted to have my own things, plan my own trips. And I've started really early. When I finished high school, I get to get a new job or actually having any kind of experience. So when you just start outside high school, the thing is, where or you don't have any experience in any other specific field, maybe yes, but usually we don't. So it's like you need to start with something. In my case, I started as a secretary for my sister-in-law at that moment, and then I went, thanks to my university, I had the chance to work as a data entry. And again, thanks to my university at my hometown, I was having another job as a teacher, mentor. And with saying this, I will put my age over there. I was teaching Windows and all that kind of stuff, Microsoft, in another thing part-time, okay? Again, maybe these kind of stuff are not something that you will think, oh, this is not, I'm not programming, or I'm not doing anything specific to my future career, something that I really want to do. But anyway, these give you experience and put yourself in the market. And every skill you will see that is valuable. Here I can see that somebody saying, buy my own burger and share with my mom. Exactly, that's the attitude. At the end, you have to share what you got. Okay, So again, at first, we need to put ourselves out there in any experience, okay? Maybe, again, we don't find something specific related to tech, but maybe we were lucky, but yes, but any experience is gonna be valuable at the end, okay? The problem with this, when you are or being a data entry or working in any other thing that is not related with your career, you think, oh, I need to learn useful things. And I'm not saying that any of those skills that I learned before were not useful, quite the opposite. But the thing is that with my kind of personality, for example, I can talk about data entry. I already learned how to manage the software to do data entry. I already learned a lot of skills related with that. So the task started to be more repetitive, and suddenly I get bored. So I got two different options, okay? The first one, it was a good job. And at the same time, I was doing my career. So probably I can just stay there, because if you're studying, you need time to study, of course. Or maybe see what's going on out there. And especially if I can get any position in IT. Which one would you choose? Continue with your career and keep studying? Or see if there's anything else that you can learn specifically to your career and start a new job? I will see your comments. And in the meantime, my decision was, I decided to get experience as a trainee in IT. Okay. Yes, explore new opportunities. That's something that I was really hungry to learn. And when we are young, I will call this first chapter as the second chapter, sorry about that, the learning path. When we are young, we really need to learn and getting the experience. And it can also be at the university, because in the university you are studying, you are making new friends, everything is an experience. So those years, please enjoy that feeling of learn in so many different ways. So what happened in this learning path? Again, thanks to my university, they were having some opportunities that were related for people that were studying there. But anyway, let's see which kind of ways that we have to learn. So in my case, at that moment, I had two different options. The first one was, okay, at that moment, I knew some of programming, but you know, I was not an expert at all. I was young. And maybe why not, I can be a freelancer or a remote worker, that I preferably work on my own. The second thing was, okay, instead of working on my own, let's try to be with other people. Let's make a band. That's what I call it. Why not try to have some opportunity in a company? With this, what happened is like, okay, I will try to check what's going on out there. And here, people is telling me getting internships to learn. And that was exactly my path. One of the things that happened, and I initially started to learn, is try to check what is my value in the market. And we're gonna talk about this in so many different parts of this adventure. And this is where I started to, okay, having a salary, what is it? What do I need to negotiate? Which kind of opportunities are out there? And if I'm going to make an internship, what is the value of the market? So yeah, I had solo hit versus the band. Which one would you choose? The solo hit, we already told, is more for freelancers. Maybe the difference is that you need to start building, for example, a portfolio. During these times, it can be have a strong profile in GitHub, for example, if you're gonna be a developer, or having some projects that you do for people that is nonprofit. But anyway, there are some people that is really successful in this part, but in my case, I still have to learn. So my option was, let's make a band. How cute are they, right? I decided to join with other people that are great, that I can learn from, or maybe that they are in the same path as myself, okay? So with this, I started my first, let's say, real job as a developer in a big company. So when you're working in a big company, you got big challenges. But the best part of this is, again, same thing as One Direction. You had a team. You are able to start putting yourself out there, and actually you share things. And besides that, there are more benefits. In my case, I started in Oracle. Oracle is a big company in the US. I'm originally from Argentina. That's why you can hear this accent. And there was an Oracle HQ also in Argentina. And I got the opportunity to be there as a trainee. They trained me as a backend developer, everything that was related with databases, I learned there. And then I started actually to work from there. So let's see which are the fun part and the not that fun part. When you're working in a big company, I think in my case, I was so lucky because first of all, they give me the training that I needed to learn. The second one is that I had the chance to be part with other people that were awesome, like mentors or things like that. But the lessons learned, let's see, I need to start learning how to negotiate. As I've started as a trainee, my salary was really low, and that's fine because you're learning, and that's at the very beginning, it was my priority. But then after a few years, in my case for 3, negotiate a salary was harder. So I have to start learning how to, again, what is my value in the market? The other thing that I learned is that growing is relative. If you start as a trainee, it really depends on the company, how you can learn in hierarchy or maybe even in a different position. Again, money statements. This thing about negotiation is something that I've started to learn, and if I really suggest you all to keep an eye, especially when you are young. Financial habits are great to have, and you need to learn your salary and how other people are dealing with negotiating and things like that. And besides that, I got the chance to know myself in a proper work environment. What does it mean? This was my first full-time job. I was working from 9 to 5 and then going to the university at night at that moment. So I started to know, okay, I really like home office, for example. I really like to have this kind of partners at work. I really like to work like this. I really like to check which are the benefits of working in a big company. And also I had the chance to start working with people from outside my country. Again, Oracle was a huge company, from international company. So I had the chance to start having calls with clients that were in the US. So it was completely open-minded, okay? So with these, we got another thing, right? The problem with me at that company, I was learning a lot and I was doing a lot. But again, the problem was money. I will put this later. The problem was money for myself, because after 3 years, I was struggling with negotiation and my salary was low comparing with other companies. So I was like, I need to keep moving anyway. I tried to negotiate because I really liked the company, but it didn't happen. So I learned that one of the best ways to grow in terms of salary, if that's what you want, probably is changing to a different company. So I get the chance to go to another big company. So what happened here? My salary increased like 100%. Isn't that cool? I can buy so many burgers now. I met amazing teammates. That's really cool. And actually, I'm still friends with a lot of them. And besides that, it was a new, fresh start. Sometimes we need to embrace changes because we are able to learn. And sometimes if we feel like we are stuck into something, changes are good. But what happened here? Which were the lessons learned? The lessons learned were that when I changed my job, I was putting as a priority having a better salary. But the problem was that in this case, this job profile was more about solving tickets like IT tickets. And in my previous job, I got already the experience of developing. I've started to learn HTML, CSS, backend, JavaScript, everything in embedded products, but that's something that I really enjoy. But here it was different. So again, the same thing is like when I already finished a certain amount of tickets, and I was like, okay, this is something that I'm learning. The first part was fine, but the rest, when everything was like the same thing, my productivity was going really low. And I don't know if my ex-boss is here, but just in case, yeah, I know. So that was a huge signal that I'm not finding or the fun or the motivation here to continue with this kind of work or these kind of activities. Because again, everything should be around fun. That's what I believe, right? So my big lesson learned here is try to follow a path about things that you really love, okay? And also try to manage feedback and being even more responsible, even if you don't find motivation or you're feeling boring or whatever, you need to make decisions because at the end, whatever you are, you need to take the most of you because there is somebody that is waiting for your value. So if you put yourself out there, it doesn't matter if it's at the beginning of your career, if it's when you are doing the data entry or you're working in a fast food restaurant, give the most of you because again, that's something that is going to return in every single next experience that you're gonna have. Okay, I went to a different place. I got the new adventure, but again, something was not going. I think this one is pretty obvious. Did I stay or I found a new adventure? What do you think? Yes, I found a new adventure. And actually, I've started to work in the community too. I've started to work also with as a public speaking, and all these things. I didn't do it for a job. I did it most of all for the community because I was not getting paid for that. So I went back to the roots. I've started to teach as a volunteer. Besides that, I've started to work in the government. And then I have one of the biggest decisions in my life. In the government, when you're working there, you probably are going to have the chance, in my hometown, the chance to stay there forever. And that's fine. You get a good salary, you get a work for life. But again, the routine, the environment is something that I learned that I didn't like that much. So what should I do now? Extreme solo adventure. This is the biggest challenge that I have in my life. It's like when Harry Styles went solo. I quit and I've started as a freelancer. If you're working as a freelancer, this is a different story that if it's valuable for you, feel free to make your questions. But yeah, I've started to basically work as a freelancer doing consulting, programming, and mentoring. So I was besides teaching and also programming. But I was doing this while I was traveling around the world. That's the fun part. So when I was traveling around the world, I need to have some freedom. So what I did is to have like 2.5 years about working as a freelancer. And then besides that, joining traveling and things like that. The problem is new adventures. I've started as an entrepreneur also. So many things, right? The fun part is like you want to create your own business. Yes, Alicia, you hear somebody get the point. You are passionate about your project and work in a team as a family. But the lessons learned were huge here, even more than at the beginning of my career. You need a vision, an action plan. It's really important. The team should be in the same path. That's what happened to me. My co-founders were in my hometown, and while I was trying to have some kind of stability traveling. And my biggest lesson was, in order to create something bigger, I need to have my roots somewhere. It was pretty fun traveling around the world and doing freelancer and trying to have my own projects. But my main problem was that I need to have stability in order to create bigger things. So sadly, it wasn't the right time to be an entrepreneur. Maybe in the future, why not? But that's where I found out web advocacy. Again, I was doing the digital normal life. I was traveling with my suitcase and with my laptop while I was working and traveling at the same time. But I decided that I need stability. I need to stay somewhere if I want to grow my trees bigger and do things that are going to have a bigger impact. So that's why I decided I need to get somewhere that basically I enjoy my job and yeah, continue doing things and then maybe later having bigger projects or something like that. That's where actually I started my career path as a web advocacy in the UK. I decided to stay in the UK, in London. And you're probably thinking, why web advocacy? Do you remember that I mentioned before that actually we are doing things and sometimes we don't know why, but everything is an experience? I was teaching. So this teaching thing that happened at the beginning and that happened after helped me to get my current career. When you're doing web advocacy or every kind of developer advocate career, you have to mix two things. You have to work with the community, sharing best practices, which means teach, mentor people, and research a lot. So I was combining two main things that I really enjoy: teaching, public speaking, guiding to the community. And then the second one is all about research in technology, creating demos, doing some engineer work. And again, the skills that I needed were HTML, CSS, the ones that I learned at the very beginning. Everything happened for a reason, okay? So I'm so happy to say that I'm currently part of the Samsung Internet team, that actually our slogan is "Living the web better than we found it." We don't only, let's say, try to share good practices about the web, we also do things for the web. And besides my final results, I just want to say that there are no errors. I mean, it wasn't an error that I've started in a company that I didn't like, or it wasn't an error that you started as a different career path that maybe later you're going to change. There are just lessons learned and results. Action. Every time that I felt uncomfortable, everything that I did in the meantime, every action leads to results. If there are no action, things are going to stay in the same way. And that's it. That's it. I hope that it was helpful for you, that you can actually see which are the different parts of tech as an entrepreneur or as a freelancer or working for a company. I don't know what will be my next adventure, but I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be amazing. And it's a small disclaimer, I hope that you create your own adventure too. Thanks.